This is the story of a young man who followed his dreams to become maybe one of the best, if not the very best, like no one ever was. Our story begins in a small, quiet town called Floraroma Town. This town in the Sinnoh region is known for its flowers, where a little person lived in this very house. This person was commonly known as Forza. There he is. Handsome little guy, isn't he? And this little boy had a dream. He wanted to befriend Pokemon, catch them, become a team, and win. And he was good at befriending Pokemon. In his quiet little mountain town, Floraroma Town, known for all the flowers, he befriended a lot of wild Pokemon. The bug Pokemon that lived in the trees, the grass type Pokemon attracted to the flowers, the flying type Pokemon passing over by, the water types living in the route nearby. One day, when he was frolicking around in the gardens of Floraroma Town, he spotted a Pokemon he has never seen before. A cute little shaman was walking through the flowers of Floraroma Town, attracted by the smell. And the shaman, even though a bit shy, was befriended by our little protagonist Forza. And after a while, they become great buddies. Shaman and Forza played in the town of Floraroma Town, together with other Pokemons, sniffing the flowers, with a lot of travelers bringing around new flowers to be grown in Floraroma Town. And one day, one of those new flowers was a Gracidea flower. The Gracidea flower blossoming and Shaman taking a sniff turned Shaman into its sky form. And this is the starting point for Forza and his little buddy Shaman to start creating a team. Shaman was the first of Forza's Pokemon. Their first adventure together outside of the town, where Forza never went without a parent or a guardian at least, was the Valley Windworks. The Valley Windworks was known throughout the entire Sinnoh region for providing energy throughout the entire region. But also there have been disappearances from other kids living around Floraroma Town and the power plant and the Valley Windworks. So Forza decided to investigate, and coming there he quickly found out a Drifblim, or the little Drifloon, was floating around, trying to take him or befriend him. Well, it was clear Forza befriended the little Drifloon and catched him in a Pokeball. Drifloon was his second companion, but Drifloon alone was not strong enough to get him through the entire region. So, traveling through Eterna Forest and coming to the Eterna City Gym, he decided with Drifloon to take on Gardenia. It was a tense battle, and in the end, Drifloon was able to beat the Turtwig, and something magical happened to him. With that, Drifblim was the second member. After seeing the Sinnoh region, Forza decided to go to Kanto. Kanto was known as a birthing place for thriving trainers. With a lot of strong Pokemon, Forza decided to travel to Mount Moon. But Mount Moon was lacking Pokemon Forza was interested by. So our hero decided to go to Route 3 instead. Maybe even visiting the Cerulean City gym, because it was pretty close to Mount Moon. But on the way he decided to start fishing. Nothing seemed to be biting until a little jellyfish was picked up by Forza and caught. Tentacool was now part of his team, but that was not all. Hopping down, he saw, swinging from the trees, a little monkey called Mankey. Mankey as well was caught. But both Pokemon were not strong enough for a strong team that Forza was trying to create. So again he decided to train. First up, Brock was challenged to get Tentacool trained up. And Tentacool in this battle against Brock was evolving into Tentacruel that he named Jello Shot. Then again, Mankey was also in dire need of training, but the Kanto region has lost its appeal to Forza, so traveling with the train to Goldenrod City, immediately challenging the gym there, where Mankey eventually evolved from training against Whitney into Kong the Primeape. With 4 members in, Forza decided to look around the Johto region, seeing if there was anything interesting at all there. Traveling north to Yucatec City and trying to reach Mahogany Town, he passed through Mount Mortar, where a small blue little Pokemon caught his eye. Can you see it? It's this little Marill over here. And Marill put up a good fight and was already pretty strong, but in the end a Pokeball was good enough to catch the Marill. In Mahogany Town, Forza found himself a rare candy, gave it to his Marill, and suddenly he had an Azumarill. After his adventures in Sinnoh, Kanto and Johto, the next route led him to Unova. And not just anywhere in Unova, it was a grassy route, Route 6. What could he find here? Whatever he saw in the grass didn't catch his eye, but somewhere in the bushes he found a pathway into a hollow, where he met a small little Carablast that he quickly captured, of course. Carablast on its own had no way of evolving, but with the help of a friend of his in Unova, he quickly traded a Shelmet and Carablast back and forth to create a Cavalier that later in its adventure got a great crystal to be using in battle, but about that more later. Because after his adventures at Route 6, he went back to Nimbasa City. Forza, being a man of culture, decided to visit all the great places in Nimbasa City. He went to the small court to watch basketball, he went to the big court to watch tennis, and next up the theater was calling to him. But once inside the theater, something felt out of place. A gaze upon him, interested in what he did. Forza out of nowhere felt the urge of singing. And with that, a Meloetta came down to him, bonding over the passion of music. Meloetta decided to join Forza's team as well. Next up, something that felt like a vacation to Forza, because traveling around all these regions, he decided maybe the Alola region could give him a bit of peace and quiet. But what's that? A wormhole opened above one of the islands, Pony Island, with the altar of the sun and moon, and Forza couldn't restrain himself. He was interested, he was curious, he went up to the altar of the sun and moon. But there he got into some trouble. He came too close to the wormhole, and the wormhole sucked him up to a strange land that he had never seen. In that strange land, a Pokemon was waiting for him, absorbing electricity. But with the strength of the team that he already had, the Pokemon had no chance, and with a special Beast Ball he got the Pokemon circuitry. Back in the real world, he went to Paldea. Known for its great crater, he wanted to investigate it for himself. And this is where both Meloetta and Escavalier got a great crystal to use and change their typings. With that extra power, Forza went down into the great crater of Paldea. And in there, he was searching for the strongest Pokemon that he could find. First up, an Iron Threads showed himself to him. But this Iron Threads wasn't like the Iron Threads he had seen all around the crater. It had a strange coloring. This seemed to be a sign to Forza, and he decided to catch the strange colored Iron Threads and called them Cybertrunk. Finally, deep inside the crater, there was an opening with a small patch of grass, where he found a roaring moon, a Pokemon from the past, deep inside the crater. He decided to battle, and even though Roaring Moon, this ancient, knew how to battle, in the end, Azumarill had a great type advantage over him, and Roaring Moon was caught in an Ultra Ball. Now, he got 10 Pokemon that he calls his Orange Army Ogerpons. Forza is gonna take on a plethora of strong trainers. And how this will end? Well, you have to wait for next week, for then we see Chapter 1. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you will tune in back for Chapter 1 of Forza's Adventures.